Hello, everyone. Brett, the comic novice here, and this is part 2 of Volume 2 of Black Panther, written by John Ridley. Should you invest your time in checking out this trade? And I've gotten some comments and feedback, email-wise and on the comment line, and it's there is a definitive not too many people happy with this run. And personally, for me, this is the first Black Panther stuff that I've ever read. I will tell you personally, the writing is up and down. It is very yo-yo like. It is very good, then bad, and that's basically what it has been for Volume 1, from issues 1 through 5, and also from what I've been getting from 6 through 10. And I will tell you, I am committed to see out the rest of this run, as it was announced that issue number 15 will be John Ridley's. I've already kind of pre-ordered up to 14, or 13, I believe. So let's just ride this thing out. Maybe it will get a lot better. Judging by a couple of the issues that I've gotten to, not hopeful, but who knows? Maybe, let's be optimistic about the whole thing. So starting us off, I will tell you a big thanks to some of you that have reached out to me, because the synopsis page I've passed so many times in previous comments or comics before, just because there's no action there's no panels there. I just don't, it's just not important to me, but I have noticed that this is very helpful. It's been a couple days since I last read a Black Panther comic, so this kind of catches me up on everything. So, at least one positive thing. This is not just positive thing about John Ridley, but this is just one positive thing about Marvel, because I have not seen much of this with the DC. Sometimes I'll do like a previously type of a thing, or a couple flashback panels or something like that, but you almost need to be in the entire run for most of it. That being said, issue number 6 starts us off with basically T'Challa fighting off Aquila, or whatever, his group of warriors, his secret group of warriors that he secretly has built up that are loyal to him, not to be confused with T'Challa's secret group of warriors that he has had implanted at various places. So never mind that. And then we get Storm appearing, basically kind of saving T'Challa's butt because he forgot or left behind his suit, or just decided to disown the Black Panther or whatever. And then we get a, X versus X argument page after argument page. This is your fault. I take ownership of this, or whatever. So we get John Ridley doing marriage counseling, or, basically what it is like to be a part of a divorced couple. Shuri informs us that she also is very into the whole having secret caves all over the place, because she's super paranoid also, and has implanted trackers inside of T'Challa and anybody who's eaten any of her cookies. And she hasn't told anybody that that's what she does, but she does that. So that's basically all of issue 6 there. Issue 7, we find out that the Prime Minister will not relinquish her power to T'Challa and the monarchy, and Achille is now has actually seized all power from the Prime Minister. So if she would like to continue to living, Achille, she better bow out and just be a silent figurehead or something like that. And then of course we get probably the most exciting thing that has happened in the pages of this second trade, and that is Towson's appearance. I find whenever he appears, it's compelling, it's interesting. I think that there's so much more that could be done with this. I hope that there is, and I would be all for a 6-issue mini or something like that revolving around him, or if the next writer wants to kind of take Towson and have some sort of uncivil rest or whatever, also against the Prime Minister. That could be interesting, as long as you kind of keep the politically intrigue connected with action, instead of just, Star Wars Episode 1 type of, anyway. And then issue number 8, we find out that Shuri gets through the Wakandan shield, because of course she can. And then the Wakandan Guard, as well as Towson's group of people, and also some of those people who are loyal to T'Challa. They decide to take on Achilles' guards. Then Achilles gets taunted by T'Challa, saying, basically he's not man enough. Only a man would probably, would not, would, should fight me, basically. And so, of course, he fights him. There's some, they trade blow for a while, and then T'Challa, kicks his butt. And then out of the clear blue, though, Achilles kicks his butt back only to, and I will tell you, I will have John Ridley's back here. Actually, no, I will not. He quickly kills himself because there's only 2 pages left of comics left. So, we need to kind of end this whole thing because doesn't T'Challa realize that, we need to get to the second story arc? So, which was actually established in issue number 1. Doesn't he realize that? So I will just quickly off myself, even though I kind of got this sword away from you, even though I was losing. And then, of course, we leave him to sulk in the death of one of his closest friends that he calls brother, and also the death of Achilles, who he did trust at one point in time. And Storm leaves him, and his people leave him, and so who's the bad guy really right here? Anyway, oh yeah, who is the bad guy? Leaving T'Challa to be in pain. Yeah. All right, issue number 9 is the second new story, which is luckily 2 issues long, and I will tell you, this is perhaps the worst writing ever. It never recovered. Like issue 9 and 10, it was awful. I mean, we get the, I think they were focused on so many first appearances that they forgot that there's actually like needing to be good stories, because we have the Colonialist, first appearance, and then we have the Buffalo Soldier first appearance. So we get stupid dialogue that just, I think it's kind of written for comedy, but I didn't find it the least bit funny at all. We have Captain Marvel, who's trying to search for the Colonialist because he made an appearance. He promised to go. They're like, oh, I don't think he's actually honest. I think he's going to stay. So she scans for his energy signature, and we find this stupid dialogue that Captain Marvel found the Colonialist in her large intestine. And I did look this up. This town exists. It is a town in Texas. But even though it actually exists in real life, I know that line was played for comedy, and it actually wasn't. And then we get the female slaves, these aliens that have been enslaved by the Colonialist, and their translation of what they're saying is actually lame. But I feel as though it's played for comedy, which is so funny because essentially, how did the Colonialists have all this power over all of them? It took the Avengers to be fighting the Colonialists for these chicks that have been enslaved to basically, we want to murder him, but we're just not going to. Oh, now that you're fighting him, even though the soldiers that are impenetrable to like the Avengers fighting them, and perhaps whatever T'Challa and Shuri did maybe might have helped just a tad bit, but eventually it took them to be fighting them to be like, okay, let's actually kill this guy. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. I do not recommend Volume 2 of John Ridley's Black Panther. I will be in Volume 3. I'm not going to go comic by comic because I find that I'm looking for reasons to ditching the weekly, monthly comic, and I'm trying to just go and read them in groups of 5 or 6 in the trades to see if I could live with just, basically trade waiting, because it might be a tad bit cheaper, through other websites and stuff like that. So yeah, what are your thoughts about my review, my thoughts? Did I miss something? Did I get everything right? Again, I am a novice at this comic reading stuff, especially Black Panther. This is only my 10th Black Panther comic that I've ever read, ever. Yeah, that link. Comment down below, email me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for everybody who likes, subscribes, or whatever. I do appreciate that. Makes me feel, again, like I'm doing something right, maybe, perhaps. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar bin.